Okay, we got 9 sections, 1 in the center front and 1 on each side. Then you start the one right behind it down the center back, and then from top of ear to top of ear, it's 3. Okay. All right, now we're getting ready to wrap. We're going to wrap first this front center section, and I'm going to show you the different types of wraps to use. Make sure it's good and wet. We wet it with water. We don't wet it in the cold wave solution. And you stand in front of your mannequin or your client and wrap this bang area. You bring it straight out from the head at 90 degrees. Comb it. You ribbon the ends. See how you converge those ends together. And you bookend. This is called a bookend wrap, where it's just folded over. This is one that we most commonly use. Make sure all the ends have been tucked in that paper, because if you don't, you'll have fish hooks. And the band needs to rest across the top. You don't want it too tight. You don't want it down here next to the scalp, or that will cause hair breakage. Coming straight out from the head again. Now you see we're on this curved plane, so this is straight out from the head. Now we're going to use a double flat wrap. This is one that you would use a lot of times around the face or any part of the head where, say for instance, you have a client and she doesn't want her hair cut, but she's got all different ends. They're short, long, and you got multiple lengths in the hair. So, and in order to capture all of them in without getting fish hooks, because that's what you'll have if you don't get them all tucked in with those end papers. Okay, that is your double flat wrap. You should have 4 to 5 rods in this bang area. The next one is just a single flat wrap, but where this is most commonly used is like if you were coming down the head form and you started out with a bookend, and then you notice one strand of hair that falls off, say around the face. You just tuck this one single paper over it and then continue wrapping down. But right here with this much hair, I'd rather use the bookend. But I just want to let you know that there are 3 types of wrapping, which it states that in your Milady textbook. And I wanted to demonstrate each one of them. Okay, and we keep coming on back. Now, if the hair is wide enough, I'm saying if your sections are wide enough that you can put a finger in between it, it's your sections are that's saying that you got too much hair on the rod. But if you got the rods sitting on top of one another, like just resting on top of each other, then they're too bunchy. And that's saying you don't have enough hair on a rod. And we've seen both of those situations. So, and we want to keep the band straight across at the back of the rod. Okay? Now you can continue going down the head, and that's what I would do. Keep going down like so, and then come back and get these on the side, each side. Now they're going to come in at a slight angle, diagonal back, a diagonal back this way. And then the ones on the front are going to be straight horizontal. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now let me do this one, and you'll see what I'm talking about with this diagonal back. You slice it out, comb it straight up from the head, ribbon the ends.
What's the purpose of that paper? What do that do?
That keeps it from having fish hooks. And it's because if you didn't do that, it would look like you had split and broken ends on the ends of it. In other words, it would not be pretty. It would be almost like, you know, like a chemical deterioration or whatever, breakage, fuzzy looking on the ends, and you don't want that. But if you, it keeps the ends smooth and looking nice if you keep that covered. And they will check for that. When you're at the state board, they're going to look for everything that I have just mentioned, that you're not too bunchy, that you don't have too much space in between the rods, that you got your band straight across, and then they will even take down the rods, maybe a couple of them. They won't tell you which ones they're going to take down, but they will just take out a couple of rods to see if the ends have got are covered up with that end paper. They won't say anything to you. They will just take off points if they find anything wrong.
So on any of it, they won't say nothing to you about it. They'll just look at it and then
You will just get your total points. They won't tell you where you went wrong on anything, but they'll just tell you that.
And who tells you if you passed or failed?
Well, now, the group that just went to the board, one girl, she knew. The other one, she said she didn't know just yet. She hadn't heard.
I think she was waiting for something in the mail.
So, you know, maybe it's, I don't, you know, they were, some of them were knowing before. Now they don't seem to know. So I guess they're just finding out in the mail. On my teacher's exam, I found out in the mail. And the other one too, matter of fact, just come to think of it. You know that these are going to be straight down and they're all going down. These were going forward, okay? I'm doing these on the side because they're a little bit different, and it's sometimes a little tricky for them to remember on what angle they put this in. Your section should be the depth of this rod. And you see the rod is not like a roller. And you may come out, you see where if your section is a little wide, then I'd start at the back of it and then work it to the front. That way it might take maybe two short rods, or a long one and a short one. So we'll kind of work it that way and see how it runs out. Either way, I'm going to put whatever it's over to the front section. And everything at the nape is going to be turned under and down. All going down this way.
All going vertical.
Yeah, straight down. They're going like
They're
this.
horizontal. Okay.
Yeah, horizontal, but they're going directing down. Rolled under. Never flipped up. Add this much hair to that front. Okay, now you see you slice out with your rat tail comb and comb up. Wet this hair a little bit because it's drying out. Ribbon those ends. Place your end paper underneath. Bookend it. And then rod down. you want to make sure you got curl from the scalp to the ends.
So what are the front sides too?
Huh?
The front sides, these two?
And they're going to be horizontal going down.
Okay.
Horizontal going down. These are diagonal back. Now this one looks a little bit not unsmooth here. I don't like that. So I'm going to do that again. And I think that needs to go up here. So I'm taking that overage and putting it to the front. I think this would work better. Any questions so far about wrapping a perm?
Why did you why is you using what you say, the book fold?
The bookend wrap.
Why you using the bookend wrap, and then like on one of the front ones you use 2 pieces of that paper?
Is a double wrap, double flat wrap, because I just wanted to demonstrate to you what that, you know, what it was. And if you needed to use it sometime, because you got a short piece and a long piece of hair, because your client says, I do not want you to cut no more of my hair off. I want to leave my hair the cut that is in it. So she may come in with all different lengths. So you may have to use that in order to capture all those ends in the section of hair that you're rodding. Yeah. Okay. So this is a quick run of how the direction in which you would rod it. This is horizontal, but make sure you just get your sections done first. Then we'll check the sections, and then after that you can go on with the wrapping of the perm. Okay, let's recap what we did yesterday. We sectioned 9 sections, and then we did what? After we sectioned, which part did we do first? Which one did we wrap first? The front. Okay, and you turned the mannequin or the client towards you, facing you. So where do you start? At the back or the front?
I started at the front.
It would work easier for you, I feel like, if you come at the back and come forward towards you. Okay? After you finish that, then where do you go?
Take it down the middle.
Down the middle, all the way down. And then I said to go on the inside of the back side and wrap down, and then wrap the front last. Okay? What did I tell you that you need to pay attention to when you're sectioning, wrapping? How wide should your subsections be?
It shouldn't be no finger space.
Yeah, she's talking about on the roller.
Yeah, it should be.
Between the smooth part.
So you're using the diameter of this rod to determine what size your subsection is going to be. So it's not going to be like a roller placement, okay? Because we don't make it as wide as a roller. It's this size of the rod. Okay, after you've sectioned it and you brought the hair, what degree do you come out from the head? 90 degrees, straight out from the head. So this is a curved plane, so it's straight out from wherever you are coming out from the head. So here it'd be straight out this way, or this way. Okay, so that is what we're talking about in 90 degrees. Then you ribbon the ends together. After you've combed it, go through it at least 2 or 3 times, and then ribbon those ends, bringing them together, converging those ends, and then putting your end papers. And what wrap did we end up using yesterday? The bookend wrap. And there is 3 different wraps. There's the single flat wrap, double flat wrap, and then your bookend. And we chose the bookend. Okay, so then we're putting the end paper on the ends and then wrapping or rodding it on down to the scalp. Where should the band sit? across the top,
But not on the scalp.
but not on the scalp. So you don't want it to cause breakage. If you put it down too close, then you're going to get breakage. You need to, and why would you come out the 90 degrees?
So it'll sit right.
It'll sit right on the head. It'll be half on, half off base. Plus, it will also help with your placement where you don't want to be able to put a finger in between each rod, but you don't want to be bunchy either. Okay? So, Miss Servey finished this rod placement up yesterday. She did a good job. And afterwards, we placed what around the mannequin's face? Cotton, because we had completed the wrap. And if it was a live client, and when you do your mock state board, I want you to use base cream. It could be cholesterol or whatever that you might have as protective cream.
Is Vaseline on them?
Uh,
Oh, y'all don't use that for that?
I don't know. I don't think it's acceptable at the board, but we'll find out exactly because they have made some changes about what is acceptable, what is not. So we'll find out before we have our test on mock state board or state board. So we put this cotton around, and then we take our bottle of waving lotion. We read the manufacturer's directions. It says to apply it to the top and underneath side of each rod. But before you do this, you can also spray mist it if it has gotten dry. Spray mist it with a water bottle lightly, and then go and place your solution on the top and underneath side. Okay, and you, since this was done yesterday, I'm just doing a review now. Top and underneath side. Okay, after you've done this to the entire head, starting at the back, the two back panels, and then the top and the two front sides. Then what did you do?
Let it stay on for 8 minutes.
Yes, I told you 8 minutes because we wanted to have just enough wave pattern in there so that we could do our finger waves, pin curls, roller placement, or whatever assignments we had for the remainder of the course. Okay, so after we done that, it processed for 8 minutes. We took it to the shampoo bowl and did what?
Rinse for 3 to 5 minutes.
With what kind of water?
Warm water.
Okay. And then after you've done that, you rinsed it for 3 to 5 minutes. And what is the importance of rinsing for 3 to 5 minutes?
To make sure you get all the solution out.
That's correct. Because this chemical, the co-wave solution, and the neutralizer, they do not mix. So you want to make sure all of that is out, rinsed out before applying the next thing, which is the neutralizer. So what the co-wave lotion has simply done, it has broken down the bonds in the hair and reconformed it to this new shape, which is the shape of this rod. And now she should have a different type of curl in her hair. Okay, so after we have rinsed her with warm water, towel blotter, then what do we do?
Put on the neutralizer.
Okay, we put the neutralizer on, and how long does it stay on?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. After 5 minutes is up, then what do you do?
So rinse it for 3 to 5 minutes.
Now, you don't have to rinse it as long as you did the first solution, but you rinse it good. Because after you rinse it, then you're going to do what?
Remove the rods and rinse again with your fingers.
That's right. And make sure that all the solution has been worked through the hair, and rinse it again good, and then towel dry her. And then you bring her to your station and comb her out, starting at the nape area with what?
Your detangling comb.
The wide tooth detangler comb. When you were still at the shampoo bowl, it would be a good idea to go ahead and put a little shampoo and warm water on your rods to rinse those out after you have removed all the end papers from it, and put it in that little white trash can that sits on the back bar. Okay, students, there are things you need to know about perm wrapping, which I omitted in the first demonstration, but I wanted to include this time, and that is to do a test curl. you just take your band loose and take your thumbs and just dip it forward gently to see the S formation. You don't unwrap it all the way and then roll it back up. If you see an S formation and 5 to 7 separations, that means that the chemical has taken effect and you have got it's processed and it's ready to come off. So, any questions about processing a perm that you didn't know? Okay?